Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, an alternate accounts story. Now, before I get into anything too in depth here in this current round, I want to make sure that everyone understands that because this is my alternate account, I don't want to put a huge amount of time, I don't want to burn myself out. These videos are purely just kind of stream of consciousness. I'm not going to do a lot of editing on anything. I took all the screenshots, I did all the stuff, but I'm not going to pause a lot. You're going to hear my ums and my ahs, and, anything too egregious, maybe I'll edit out, or maybe I'll just let you experience that. So, anyways, thank you for watching this video. I'm excited about it. My alt is having a lot of fun in Grand Arena. It always has, just because I get to spend my time facing a lot of random teams that I don't really ever get to face on my main account. This is a 1.5 million GP account, so it's a solid enough account, but my main account is almost 5 million at this point, so pretty dramatic differences. And you can see I'm taking a lot of understrength squads. That's really a theme for what I'm trying to do with this account. The Ewoks are all gear 9, I think. Did I get Paplu up to 10 at some point? At this point, I don't think so. I actually am recording this a little bit late. By the time you're listening to this, I'll have already deployed for round 10, so I'm already a couple episodes, episodes of this, I guess, alt account stuff late. So, anyways, you have Ewoks just destroying teams, even Gear 9 Ewoks. Honestly, Gear 9 with Chirpa is really strong in 1.5, just because the turn meter is really about the same as a Gear 12 Ewok team. I mean, you're missing a few mods and stuff, but in the end, it's basically the same. You're still getting that same turn meter gain, so you're taking a ton of turns, and yeah, it's good. This is a really random squad that I'm facing now. You see these kind of teams every once in a while in Grand Arena, and General Grievous lead for no apparent reason. I guess because he helps himself. Bastil is great. Bastil is great against General Grievous at all levels, apparently. This opponent didn't really put that much on defense, which it happens. People want to make sure that they get all their offensive wins no matter what, and I get that. But it also gives you a lot of good opportunities with your alt. If you're at this low level, there's a lot of different feats that you're not necessarily going to be able to accomplish with an alternate account, or even when you're at the lower end of the GP spectrum. Like, you're not going to be able to finish the kill 24 units with separatists, because you don't have any separatists geared at this point. Or maybe you do, but you don't have all of them geared. You don't have all the teams that they're asking you to use geared. I mean, get a win using 3 clones. Like, I don't even know if my alt account has unlocked 3 clones. I probably could, but I mean, what team would I have to use to be able to do that? I mean, you have to kind of take whatever you can with your alt in terms of your total number of feats that you can accomplish. You want to make sure you're getting all your GP, or all of your points that you can. Of course, just like you do with any account, you want to get a good standing, but in some cases you just have to recognize things as extremely non-feasible, and that's kind of what some of those are. So one thing that is extremely feasible, though, that's actually more accomplishable with an alternate account, or with a lower level account, I keep calling them that, you can get a ton of understrength wins, and really I've been trying to maximize that as much as possible. So we have the end of my first round here, and my opponent apparently chose not to attack. I got pretty close to max banners against them, so moving on to round 2. I'm in Chromium now, if you missed that halfway through. And if you missed it, all my videos on my alt videos, all of them are like 1.5 speed, so they're kind of rushed, but I just want to make bite-sized episodes here for you guys to see. I mean, trying to keep the watch time under 20 minutes. I know that there are a lot of people, though, that actually have accounts that are closer to this GP level, so I don't want to short people who want that kind of analysis. And really, speak up. I mean, I read the comments. No one ever comments on my videos at this point. It's not a super popular YouTube account, but I do read the comments. If you're interested in more analysis at this level, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. I can't promise too much. My alt account is fun, but I can't focus on both accounts at an equal rate. It's just not that possible. I'll get burned out way before anything good is actually accomplished. So but please let me know, and if that's something that's in demand, I mean, I'm all for it. And you see here, I actually almost lost with Phoenix. Well, maybe not almost lost, but I tried an understrength squad, and it can get kind of dicey sometimes if you're not careful. This is really fun. You have Luminara as lead. I mean, how often do you get to see that? Maybe I'll do that one day in Grand Arena for my main account just to see what people think. I mean, maybe she'll actually be a good leader at some point. We're supposed to get some reworks coming up, right? Anyways, this is like the ideal team for Ewoks to just kind of chew on. Again, under strength, even though a lot of the guys that I'm fighting, I mean, Luminara's gear 10. I think at least a couple of them, the others are higher gear than the Ewoks too. And you see they're getting some turns on the Ewoks, and the Ewoks don't really have a ton of protection regen. I think you get that from Wicked if you put his Zeta on or something, but you know, at this level, you don't really care as much about banners either. You just want to beat all 4 sections as fast as possible. And it's a little offset anyways. I'm taking him an understrength squad, but you see all these Ewoks. I mean, they're just going turn after turn after turn. You get the days on, and they're just generating all this turn meter. I have them decently modded. The Ewoks are a really solid team at this level. At 1.5 GP, I would absolutely recommend people work on them. I mean, not only do they help you unlock 3PO, who is an amazing, amazing character on a ton of different teams, but if you put a Zeta on Chirpa, you're going to be able to take down a ton of teams. They're going to be relevant forever, like all the way until you hit endgame. Honestly, in Grand Arena, they're never going to stop outputting for you. That may change at some point, of course, but as of right now in the current game state, it's just a really great squad. It's easy to invest in. Well, maybe not easy. I mean, there's some people who hate Ewoks, and I get that, but really, I mean, they're worthwhile. Just farm Wicket, you know, start getting some Zetas every month. It's a good deal. So you have that Hand of the Republic feat, and it's great. You destroy 24 characters with a Grand Galactic Republic character. I mean, great. My main did that in like 1 or 2 Grand Arena rounds, and my alt is actually still working on that in round 10 of this Grand Arena. So, they're at like 23 out of 24, but it's just not that feasible, some of these things. What can I kill guys with? That's Galactic Republic, like R2D2 if he finishes guys off, Grandmaster Yoda, and that's about it, because 3PO is good, but he doesn't do damage. So one thing that's really different about my alt account as opposed to my main account is I use bounty hunters on defense. And that's maybe gonna sound like I'm being a little hypocritical, and I get that, but it's really not, just because circumstances are just so different. You need a solid defensive squad to be able to, go next to I have an Emperor Palpatine squad who has a Zeta on the leadership, and it gets all kinds of stops. People just completely annihilate the bounty hunters because they're all gear 12 and they're scary looking, but then they overlook my gear 11 Emperor Palpatine squad. Well, gear 11's like the max. Everyone else is gear 10 or 8. So, they attack the bounty hunters and then they fail. Even if they beat the bounty hunters, they fail against the EP squad. But you need that tandem to be able to keep people from getting max scores on you. And whereas it would probably have the similar effect if I put Commander Luke in there on defense instead, which is what I do on my main account. I put the Bosk team in there just because they're strong enough on defense, and Commander Luke is way more versatile in terms of teams he can beat. I mean, Bosk can't really touch a Jedi Revan team of any sort, but Commander Luke is happy to mess with that team all day, as long as you know how to do it. So, my last round opponent here was a lot stronger than my previous two. The previous two were pretty focused on offense, and then they didn't really accomplish much. When I logged in, my opponent had actually already beat 2 of my zones, and was probably just going to be stalled out against my Emperor Palpatine team, just like I was referencing before. This was kind of an interesting scenario, though. There's Grandmaster Yoda as leader, which you don't see too often. But, he's with kind of the dregs of the Jedi. I mean, Ahsoka's okay now, but, you have Juhani, who, she's like the third best, and when Juhani's your third best character on the team, you know that the team's probably not going to do much. So, one thing I will say, I talked about Ewoks a little bit and how good they are at this level, at the 1.5 level. Even my Bastila is gear 8 without a Zeta on her leadership, and she is so good. She is just so good. And the reason why is this: she still gives her team, you don't get her tenacity, but she gives her team a ton of extra protection. And the teams you face at this level aren't going to be able to punch through that protection before you beat them, before you destroy them, really. So you can send in an understrength squad, have a couple guys who can hit hard with Ezra and Grandmaster Yoda, and get max points, get 61 banners. That's a really great opportunity. So one thing maybe you've noticed is I'm not doing a play-by-play on all of my different moves here. Part of that's just the speed of the videos, but the other part is all of these teams are just different enough that it's hard to really have a pre-formulated strategy. The exception, of course, here is this Emperor Palpatine team. If you have Bastila, if you're fighting against Bastila, or take Bastila out very first. If you don't, you're just going to lose with Commander Luke. If not, then take out Emperor Palpatine and the rest follows. This was a really fun opportunity for me. Never mind, I'm thinking of a different clone team that I had to face. But, how often do you get to face clones either? Soon that's going to change. They've just announced that they're doing some reworks on clones and stuff, and that doesn't surprise me, but that's what's great at this level is some people have worked on clones because they love clones, and it's hard to fault them for it, but in terms of gameplay, clones are just kind of awful right now, so especially without Shock T. So just, I mean, this is the finals and I'm facing clones. It's kind of cool. For Ewoks, I've touched on them a couple times. I typically just leave the Ewok Elder out. He's fine. He's great in that squad, of course, but I think he's the least needed if you want to do an understrength squad. That's the thing to do. All right, so I decided to go under strength here with Phoenix versus Phoenix, which is just a miserable mirror match. Honestly, it's not fun at all. I figured I could probably beat this squad, but under strength, I don't think that was the greatest decision. I mean, especially I don't have Ezra here, so the only hard hitter I have is Gear 11 Sabine, and then Gear 10 Chopper, Gear 9 Hera, and Gear 8 Kanan. I mean, it can get kind of dicey. I took out Hera there, of course. She's probably the first person you want to target, especially if she's low gear. And if you can take her out, it hurts their team a lot right away. But then if you fail here in your attack somehow, you can face this squad, and it's just like 4 random, way overpriced characters that are just really annoying to put gear on. But they don't actually have any cohesion because they need Hera's leadership to be able to do that. And really, I mean, once you take Chopper down, he's actually a pretty good character. A lot of people give him flack, but he's solid. Chopper, once you can get Chopper down and all of his stupid evades and his dodges and stuff, it's pretty much game over. I hate doing Phoenix mirror matches, but at this level, you really need to save Phoenix for, well, you could put it on defense. They'd probably do okay, but you need to have 4 strong-ish teams to be able to full clear. It's pretty important. My opponent here came a little bit close to beating me, to beating my front line, but I don't really have anything of extreme value in that back row. I mean, a few Gear 8 rebels, but I need to have insurance in case someone full clears me. All right, and it looks like we're already at the end here. So rounds 7 through 9 are coming up. I'll put those out hopefully sooner than I did this time, but until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.